One, how's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have Eidola with us, and they can say their names and what they do in the band.
My name is Andrew. I sing.
My name is James. I play the bass. And just for the record, it is Eidola.
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 Okay,
yes.
now I know.
Yeah.
For future reference.
Yeah. People get it wrong.
I was going to say, I could imagine people getting it wrong, but my first question is, how did Eidola start? How did you get your members?
Well, we all went to high school together, actually, except for our drummer, Matt,
Okay.
and our new guitar player, Sergio. But our old guitar player, we all went to high school together. We played in bands together, like separate bands, all throughout high school. And we eventually, all those bands kind of fizzled out. And then shortly after high school, we got together and rented a house together and just started playing music and gigging out and started setting up tours regionally and started recording music, and it just kind of all progressed from there. Yeah.
Did you guys know that you wanted to start a band together? How was like kind of the first like interaction? Obviously, like you guys have played shows together in separate bands, but like when were you like, let's all get together and like work together, pretty much?
Well, so James and I were in a band together.
Okay.
And then Matt, our guitar player, Matt Domer, was in a different band that like we competed in Battle of the Bands against each other and all that. And our drummer, Matt, was also in a bunch of different bands locally. And after all those kind of fizzled out, we were like, well, we want to do something together. We saw each other. We played shows together in all those bands. And we kind of had this idea of like just getting together and making music, and got James on board and made it happen.
So yeah, I was friends with Matt Domer,
Okay.
our guitar player, since we were like 13 or 14. So I had known him for a long time, and then I started playing with Andrew when I was 17 or 18.
17.
Yeah, somewhere in there. So after that band that we were in kind of fell apart, I was just hanging out with him and my old friend Matt Domer, and we kind of just decided to
Just
get together and start
and
playing.
ram.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. My next question is: you guys have been touring around for a while, but what are some of your favorite venues that you've played at?
This one, for sure.
Voltage?
Yeah, Voltage is always a good time. City-wise, I mean, sometimes they don't always match up.
Of course,
like
yeah.
sometimes you'll have a really good crowd and like the venue's a little shoddy, or vice versa.
I think Sergio's
You
trying
need
to
your
come
guitar,
in.
dude?
You can come in. It's fine. Sergio knows.
Sergio.
It's happening.
Say hi,
before.
Sergio.
Hi, everyone.
A familiar face to.
Brooklyn's always great, like anywhere in Manhattan is always amazing. We always have a great time there. On every tour, like Orlando, we play a place called Back Booth a lot of the time in Orlando, which is always awesome. Masquerade in Atlanta. Atlanta always goes super hard. There's not a lot of good venues in our hometown, unfortunately, but like, yeah, Chain Reaction in California, definitely all good markets. Texas is pretty good no matter where we go. Like Jack's Patio or Alamo City are all fun to play.
Awesome, guys. So my next question is, what was the last show that you went to, obviously excluding your band?
The last show that I went to, gosh, I'm trying to think.
We went to see the Water Parks show, actually, because
cool.
our the dude that we take for merch, we take him for merch. He was working for another band.
Oh, cool.
So it was his birthday, and we were coming out to see him.
Nice.
And we ended up going to the Water Parks show, but yeah, that was probably the last one we actually saw, and we didn't really watch it because we were
Hanging
kind of
out.
just hanging out with him for his birthday. Yeah. Before that, I'm trying to think. Can you think of one?
I mean, I did Warped Tour with Dance Gavin Dance.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah.
And so I got the opportunity to go out and watch a lot of the bands on that tour. I would say Counterparts is one
nice.
of my
Yeah.
favorite bands right now, and seeing them fucking crush every night was just awesome. Those guys are super, super talented, super nice guys. So that was always a pleasure, like going out and be able to see them pretty much every day. But that was kind of the last like concert I went to outside of playing. I've been on tour pretty much ever since. So
The other day we were in Atlanta,
Okay.
and they have 3 venues in the same place,
wow,
right? It's like
okay.
a complex. So we were playing one room, and in the other room was Intervals and Jason Richardson
Oh,
and
sick.
Night Versus
Yep.
and there was one other, but I can't.
Is it
can't
Nick
quite
John?
remember
I think
it.
it's Nick Johnson, right?
Yeah, Nick Johnson.
Yeah. Okay.
It was amazing.
Yeah, so we were watching those guys kind of backstage as like the shows were progressing, and that was an amazing show as well. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, mostly it ends up being you watch the bands that you're with or that
Of
you're
course.
around, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. My next question, probably the most important question. What are some of your musical influences?
Man, I get asked that question so much you'd think I'd have like a stock answer for it. It's always changing in terms of like what influences us to write. Like when we originally started the band, we all kind of had a very similar, like if you had a Venn diagram, we all had a pretty similar interest in kind of early 2000s post-hardcore, like Thrice, Circa Survive, Under Oath, Coheed and Cambria, Thursday. Like we're all fans of that era of music, and then we still love that stuff, but we all kind of have branched out from there. Our drummer's a huge fan of like progressive death metal and like really heavy. He's like a huge Meshuggah fan.
Okay, yeah.
He's definitely in the heavy side. I love jazz music, like even like modern jazz, like Snarky Puppy's take on jazz is just phenomenal. Stuff like that. I still listen to like 90s R&B too, like old Usher, Confessions, and like Imogen Heap, like weird offshoot indie stuff. So our tastes are pretty eclectic, and we try to kind of translate that into the music as best we can. So what about you, James?
I don't know. I do tend to find myself going back to like the old classics a lot, right? But on this tour, I have been trying to pick up a few new albums. So I listened to the Good Tiger's new album. That album is very good, definitely. I was listening to, it's not as new, but The Contortionist. They have also, that album is really good as well, especially that first single that they dropped on that. I'm obsessed with that song at certain points. I just listen to it over and over. But yeah, just kind of different stuff like that, But definitely our roots came from like Circa Survive, Coheed and Cambria, Thrice, all of those guys. So.
Awesome. Well, I think you kind of answered my next question, James. But what have you guys been listening to on tour, like in the tour van? What have you been jamming?
I've been listening to podcasts.
Any specific?
Sergio and I have been bumping a bunch of Joe Rogan podcasts recently. We actually just listened to one yesterday that was like Leah Remini talking about Scientology. It was fascinating. It was really cool. But yeah, we'll listen to like that podcast in particular. Just some spoken word stuff.
Yeah. And then we also kind of listen to some joke music sometimes, right? Like we'll listen to like
Kenny Loggins.
Yeah, Kenny Loggins.
That's our jam, dude.
Yeah.
Playing with the boys all day.
Yeah. Just something that's like really fun and upbeat, something that like you can laugh and joke about. So yeah.
All right, guys. My next question is: if you guys could pick a song to cover, what song would it be?
We've actually thought about that quite a bit.
I have an answer that I really like, but I've never quite sold everybody else in the band on it, and that would be "Hold Fast Hope" by Thrice. I think that song would be really, really fun for us to cover, and I think that we could do it pretty well. That would be my choice.
My choice, just because of how our band, like the sonic qualities of our band and how we're kind of set up, I've always wanted to cover the song called "This Could Be Anywhere in the World" by Alexis on Fire, just because I think that me and Dallas kind of sing in a very similar way, in a very similar range, and then same with Matt and their screamer. It's kind of a similar sound, and it's with that song primarily. So I think that would sound great as a cover. I'd love to do that song.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Next question, guys. Gotta ask this one. Favorite food to eat?
Oh, Thai food.
That was quick.
Don't even have to hesitate. Thai food.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I really like Chinese food, and I also really like Mexican food. I would say that those are like the top two, but it's really hard to pick a favorite. It's
See, I always come down to if I was stranded on a desert island,
yeah,
I had to pick one type of food I could eat forever.
Yeah,
I couldn't do Chinese food.
I
could do Mexican food for sure, but I think Thai food, it's just so good.
I think that you make a very solid point about the Chinese food on a deserted island.
I just don't think I could do
Like,
it.
you couldn't
Chow
do
mein
that
every day.
meal.
No way.
You'd never get off that island.
You
would just
wouldn't.
be like
You
this, just like. I would just be like asleep. I would just be like, let me take a nap right now, and then I'd never want to get off the island. So
No way. Yeah.
I probably have to agree with your thought process. feel like Mexican food might be
Mexican
in that top
food,
tier.
definitely top tier for sure.
My next question, guys, if you could pick somebody to collaborate with, who would it be? It could be either like producer standpoint or like as like a guest to have on like an album.
That's a good question. Oh, you take the first one, Jay.
I'm thinking. I'm not sure.
I've always wanted to just, even since I was a kid, I've always wanted to do some type of collaboration with Anthony Green. Like now having played with him a couple times and knowing him, meeting him, like he's such a genuine dude, and like I think like collaborating with him in any capacity would just be awesome. I've gotten the opportunity to collaborate with a lot of different people that I never thought I would ever get the opportunity to do, like Chris Crummett, Eric Ron, all the DGD guys, and you know, touring with all those dudes. It's just awesome. So, but yeah, I would say probably Anthony. Yeah.
It might be a cop-out, but honestly, working with Sergio these last several months has been amazing. Sergio has been really, really cool to work with. We've known him for several years now, and it's just really fun to be able to work with him on that level now.
I will say, from a producer standpoint, like an engineer producer standpoint, I can't ever remember his name, but the guy who has done pretty much all of the Between the Buried and Me records, all the BT Bam records, and like that dude's engineering skills are just incredible. I would love to have the budget someday to take this band with that dude for sure.
Yeah, Sergio is so good too. Kind of running it back. He's Stolas is like such a great band too. So if you haven't checked them out, feel free to. But my next question, guys, if there was another musical instrument that you could just be proficient at, just shred on, what would it be?
That I don't already shred on?
I know you shred on a lot, so I feel like this is a weighted question.
The oboe.
The oboe.
I need to shred a fat ass oboe solo.
Yeah, dude.
I'm waiting next time.
Yeah, next time, next record.
Yeah.
Oboe
No.
solo.
I think my first like real choice would probably be the drums. I would love to be able to be like really good at the drums, but I'm just lazy and have never really like done too much to make that happen. But another cool one would be like the sitar. If you could really play like a mad sitar, that'd be really cool.
All right, George Harrison.
My next question, guys, probably my personal favorite question. If there's a video game character that you could be, who would you choose? Ooh, I feel like Andrew's having a hard time with this.
Well, my initial instinct was Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, but he's just so troubled. I don't know if I want to go through
He's
that.
just so sad all the time.
My second impulse was straight Mario, because he's just killing it all day.
Yeah. I don't know. Honestly, the first thing that came to my mind was like the Minecraft guy, because he can like build whatever he wants. He can defy the laws of physics.
I
man.
never
Like,
would
he
have
just
thought of that answer.
Hold stuff up in the. I don't know.
Mario's got that fat
And
mustache.
I tried to think of like a cooler character, because I was like, that's not very cool, you know. But I couldn't really think of one.
Video game guy. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sticking with Mario.
Ooh, I thought he was gonna stick with Cloud.
No,
I was like, oh
it's
man,
too troubled.
Too troubled.
Had to watch Ares die.
All right, guys. My next question is, in your opinion, who puts on a great live show?
Counterparts, intervals.
Every Time I Die.
Every Time I Die is fucking incredible live. We played with them at South by So What. I think it was last year or the year before, and those guys just obliterate live. They're so good. I mean, even not even from like a technical standpoint, like they're not overly concerned about getting every single note in the pocket. You know, like Aaron Marshall intervals, like the performances are just structurally flawless. But Every Time I Die brings an energy that I don't see in a lot of bands nowadays, except for like Counterparts again.
Just thinking back to like the last year of the bands that we've toured with and have gotten to watch a lot, my definite favorites of those tours have been Chon and Hail the Sun. Both those guys are just amazing to watch. They're so much fun. They just have a lot of energy. They really, really engage the crowd. They just keep everything really at the top notch, you know. So
I think it's cool to see Chon and how they've grown over the past couple years, because I know that they used to be like much smaller, and now they're like, I saw them on the Homie tour and they're just like selling out shows like left and right. So that's cool. Hail the Sun is ridiculous live. So
Yeah, those guys are awesome.
I'll have to tell you a story later about that. But next question, guys. If you could compile a dream tour, who would be on it?
Could I have my band on it?
Absolutely.
I would have to say Dream Tour, Under Oath, Dance Gavin Dance, Hail the Sun, Eidola. That'd be a dream tour, just that is in the realm of possibility and would be just fucking awesome. Playing 2 sets a night and then just hanging out with the homies and opening for a band I've wanted to open for a long time. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, definitely from the perspective of like if we're gonna play it, I would say like probably honestly Circus Survive, Thrice, Hail the Sun, and then us.
Also a sick tour.
That would also, both tours, I'd pay good money to go see those.
I would pay good money to be on that tour.
It could happen, definitely happen.
in the
I
realm,
liked
yeah.
how your answers were like in the realm of like actually could happen. So
Definitely, yeah.
let's just make it happen, people.
Let's
You
make
know?
it happen.
But next question, guys. Favorite TV show, favorite movie?
Favorite movie, Cloud Atlas, for sure. I actually have a Cloud Atlas tattoo. The music, I always get asked about the music that's on my arm. It's called the Cloud Atlas Sextet. It's a piano score. So that movie for sure definitely is at the top of my list. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, also great movie.
The one movie that I find I can watch just over and over, like no matter how many times, is Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? That movie is amazing.
So I was going to say a movie I'd watch over and over is Step Brothers.
Yeah, that's also a really good one. Yeah. As far as TV shows go, I don't know, man. There's not really anything right now that I'm incredibly stoked on. I used to be really stoked on Game of Thrones, but like the last season, I just kind of fell off, you know?
Straight up, I know this is going to be whack, but
Yeah.
Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, Hell's Kitchen.
I fucking love Hell's Kitchen, dude. It's the new season, the All-Star season. So good.
Nice.
Gordon's in the pocket, dude.
The one I have been watching recently is Black Mirror, and that show is actually really, really cool. Yeah.
I started watching a show called The Path that Aaron Paul's in. That's really good. I think they're on like season 3 right now. That's like more of a drama show that I've enjoyed recently. That's pretty cool. But in terms of like pleasurable watching, I can just go and just binge watch it. Hell's Kitchen. Any cooking show, really.
I mean, I feel like who doesn't like Gordon Ramsay just like yelling at somebody?
I know. I
feel
just
like
started watching
I feel
that.
like you get a sense of happiness watching somebody just get
You
ripped
do.
to shreds by him.
Yeah, or Kitchen Nightmares. You see him come in and just lay into everybody. It's great.
I just almost forgot to bring up There Will Be Blood about my
That
favorite
is a
movie,
great
because that
movie.
is an amazing movie. That is a movie I can also watch over and over. Anyway.
Awesome. Next question, guys. Speaking about desert islands from earlier, if there was one album that you could bring with you on a desert island and that was the only album you could listen to, what would it be?
Man, coming in with the toughies. I love it. That
That is a
tough.
really, really hard question.
In the grand scheme of things, God, I don't even really know, because I'm torn between like a groovy ass jazz album or just a heavy guy.
Dude, I'm just definitely thinking it's got to be like one of the classics, one of like the late 2000s from like when I was growing up and have the most nostalgia for, right? If that's the only thing you can listen to, it's got to be something in that realm. But picking just one of those is...
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it'd probably be something that, like a piece of music that I could just analyze forever. Like, it has a lot of layers I could revisit. That is really tough. I don't know. If you're talking classics, I'd say On Letting Go by Circus Survive.
That is a very, very solid answer. Drew Turner would also be a really
G.
solid
Turner,
answer.
also acceptable. Snarky Puppy.
You could kind of cheat it and do the Alchemy Index by Thrice and get like
4 records
four
in
records
one.
out of it. Yeah.
See, I wouldn't. I don't know if I'd choose that though, because there's
That
some
one's
songs on
great.
the Air record I just don't like.
Yeah, there is one song on the Air record that is
that Crow song.
very good. Yeah.
Please
Not
still
about
take
it.
us on tour.
Yeah, that's the only song that you've ever written that I haven't been super stoked on. Yes.
Define the Great Line by Under Oath.
Yeah,
is
that would
also
be a great
killer
one.
record that I feel like you could repeat quite a bit. That's really, really good. Diamond Eyes by Deftones, also a great record. I would listen to for a long time. Even 10,000 Days by Tool. That's a great record. I feel like I could come back to and find new stuff in all the time. So yeah, that's multiple answers, but
Yeah.
So
We
if
kinda
I just
cheated.
had to get one,
The whole point of this question
Tough.
was to narrow it down to one.
I know,
and we
bro.
didn't do
I
it at all.
can't
We
do
totally
it.
failed.
all letting go. Final answer.
I know
Final
how
answer,
I know how
Regis.
hard it is. So I can't imagine somebody to pick just one. I think if you asked me the same question, I would have a struggle.
It's tough.
I think I got asked it, and I think I picked. And then I'm almost positive I picked Artifacts, Pareos, and Time and Place.
Oh, that's a great.
Just
Those
that-
guys are like, they were our best friend band for a long time. Those guys are awesome.
I love that. That's
love
like
'em.
The jam.
Come back, tour
Come
with
back,
us, please.
Yes, I would. I
Tour
would
with
cry. I would literally cry if you guys toured together. That
We
would be-
did way back in the day with Stolas. It was Stolas, Artifacts, Pareo, Eidola. It was like it was the first national tour we ever did. Me and Matt got a tattoo to symbolize it.
That's amazing.
And those guys were just phenomenal every night. They were great.
They're
to watch.
insane. But lastly, guys, tell them about Eidola, where they can find you at, and anything coming up in the next couple months.
Yeah. So we are on our headliner right now. We've got about 9 shows left tonight, including tonight, like 8 or 9 shows left. We put out a record last summer called "To Speak to Listen." We are super proud of it. We are already balls deep writing a new one. We got Sergio in the band now, which is awesome. He's bringing a whole new dynamic to it. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at Eidola. Facebook's Eidola UT. since
We
we're from
also
Utah.
just put out a brand new music video for our song Low Tie, so go check that out on YouTube, Blue Swan Records.
Yeah, as far as the next couple months, we're just gonna be focused on writing, getting everything prepped for the studio, and trying to come out with a new record as soon as we can.
Well, I have a little story time for you guys.
Sweet, yeah.
So the last tour that you were on, the Hail the Sun, Eidola's like split tour,
Mhm.
I was talking to Alan Castillas
Yeah.
from Hail the Sun, and he was talking about, I guess in some conversation, he brought up somebody did a review of your album To Speak to Listen,
Mhm.
and he was like, it's like 20 minutes long. Who did this video? It was actually me.
Whoa,
That
really?
video.
That's awesome.
And so Alan has been trying to get this to go a little bit. He's like, just hit up Eidola. just
Dude, that's
let 'em
cool.
know.
Yeah, I'm glad you did,
But
man.
It's such a great record. It's
Thanks.
in my top. I think I picked like 20 of my favorite records from last year. And it's one of my in my top 20.
Thank
from
you so
last
much.
Year.
Yeah, thank
so I just feel like it's a full circle moment that I had to explain to people.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And absolutely go check out Eidola. Really great stuff. Like,
Thank you.
I'm so stoked you guys are finally doing a headliner. Definitely go check the links in the description. Go subscribe to them. Go check out the new track as well. And if you enjoyed this interview, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to hit that thumbs up. And thanks to, of course, the lovely Eidola people.
Thank you.
coming
Thanks
on.
for having us, man. Really appreciate it.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Of course, if you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps out our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.